Well, good morning, people. Yes, this is the morning here. I don't normally do a video in the morning, but my brain and mouth are asleep. Then it's the beginning of a very, very warm day, apparently, here where I am. And I thought we'd just have a quick talk, about the educational system in your area. What do you think of it? Has it changed anyway? I know it has in my time, and I believe I know why. Because as you know, I'm very observant and such a clever man. Educational system in my day when I was going to school was fairly dominated really by male teachers, male headmasters. But even then, there was quite a few femons in the educational system. But the educational system and school that I was at had discipline. And they were teaching us things like reading, writing, and arithmetic. They weren't teaching us our well-being or how to actually think. And they were teaching us also history and telling us straight from the horse's mouth, and that was it. Oh, but things have changed now, haven't they? And the worst places, of course, is the Western world and the United States, for sure. But it's happened all over, especially in the UK as well, just a little bit quieter about it. But if you take a look at the schools and everything now, and the educational heads, they all seem to be femons. There is hardly any real men left in the educational industry. It's mostly femons. Then, as we know, femons like to control everything around them. And now they're teaching the students completely different things than we were taught. Ideology things. They even tell them how to report on their parents. In fact, most of the schools now are the children's parents. They should be the educators, and that's all. But you've only got to see how a feminine acts when she gets married, and after maybe 15, 20 years, that her husband isn't really a man anymore, he's more like her pet. So let me know what the educational system is like in your area. And do you still feel like you're the parents of your own children? And I believe there's far too many femons in the educational industry. And that's why a lot of male students in school aren't doing very well, because they're persecuted. They're shamed. And if the parents say anything about anything, they're threatened, aren't they? No, schools now are indoctrinating your children, not educating them. Anyway, how did my barbecue go? I went to a barbecue yesterday afternoon, to the family barbecue, and surprisingly, it went quite well. I actually enjoyed it, for a change. There was one moment, of course, that got a little bit heated. This guy I hadn't seen for a long time, who's obviously married, of course, didn't bring his wife because his wife doesn't really get on with another wife there, that sort of thing. But his wife is a nature lover, but not a nature lover like David Attenborough or anything. She's kind of like a cat lady or likes to save birds and that sort of thing, She feeds the foxes and everything else, which is not really the greatest thing to do to a fox anyway. It's not good for them. And she actually believes that the animals are more important than humans, of course. But we got on to the subject about seagulls again, how there are so many of them and they need to be culled. But although he wasn't with his wife, it may as well be his wife, because that's exactly what she would say. He was talking just like she would. So he's been indoctrinated as well. And his answer was they shouldn't be culled because they belong here and everything. And it's not their fault that we built along this coast and all that. I did try to explain to him that nature provides, and if there's a lot of food, these seagulls will multiply, and they're only living on scraps, most of them. Half of them not even seagulls. But I said to him, well, in that case, why don't we just cull the people? And this is how femons would think, wouldn't it? Yes, kill the people, but keep the birds. And it's most of these femons who are these nature sort of lovers, but they're not really, have no clue about real nature and how it works and what to do that's good for it at all, do they? These are the type of femons that you go to and they've got over 30, 40 cats or something in a place and they're all running around diseased and starving and, well, they feed these birds all the time and loads of food and birds become dependent on them and it's not very good. They have no understanding about real nature and how it works. And I'll just call it that she has the Walt Disney syndrome. But what she should get is a reality syndrome. Because in actual fact, she's doing more damage to nature and wildlife than helping it. Anyway, let me know what you think about your education system in your area. And I'm really glad I went to school when I did, because we had discipline. There were actually deterrents for behaving badly. We didn't have any crying rooms or safe rooms. And my generation was a far stronger generation for it. And that's my 10 pennies worth. Take it easy.